never should have wandered off so far from myself. Now it seems I lost myself. Now it seems I have nothing else. I'm amongst the rest when it comes to regrets, what attempts to justify your actions. Actively reimagine such a forced satisfaction from the quest that arose and the folk that arose and the path that we chose, misled by the whole mind state will reveal that mind to herself is the only way to make life flow. This I know, and so I go repeat mistakes I don't intend. Bend to the truth for the bend of the rules, and I will always remain on top.
Frozen tracks you can't follow back to the brink of your home. It's all forever when you roam, and you've seen those things that flash when you blink. Cheating lots of names, and yet the soul is against the flame that light is truth. In fact, that finds its way through the scene plain as day. Even when looking away through closed eyes, still you know the feelings. Dancing chiaroscuro, silly girls playing in snow, and that they've grown sufficient and prints can be misread.
I'm a fighter in the wind of the rain, getting pushed around but never dampens. The burden of freedom is slowly burning on my passion, so I ran to a place to escape from the change that I knew too soon would increase my fear, and really near to a clearing I was once certain to find.
Of course they'll bloom again, and thus goes the circle, and focus is fixed on the centrifugal twist up and out, down and in, and stories exposes a multitude of forces pushing, pulling out their courses. If I'm like water in both the percent, and flood hits the ground, makes mud, and in the pack just slush, bleeding regrets, pain, musk, ascent, so divisive, enticing all the lightning Zeus can toss, throwing caution at my whims, turbulent skies open and swallow my kin from whom I came. I can't the rain. If this is all you muster, I remain only flustered slightly. I adapt to some seed trap. What some seeds trap.
I never meant any harm. Excuses fill my voice as I swim with the swarm. The strength allows us to hoist.
It was different, simply put to the test of the rest. It invest in protocol, calling all falls with the breaking the plans, making amends with the land sharks, breaking the limbs.
But it was wrong from the start, nevertheless I had to finish. I'm a victim with a limit, with the goals too exquisite. Pay a visit to the armory and harbor the predicament that should be kept a secret and descent.
It changes, I'm raised. I've never gone back to the pre-crash malaise. It's amazing to think that it was all in blast when I calculated outcomes and craft mistakes.
When it unfolds, I remain on top, even on the bottom. When it drops, I'm surprised, even past my disguise, across my
all the
mistake.
while I tip scales into a static status quo. I'm so far from where that bend in the road curves straight, mistaken for
straightened out, but incorrectly healed. The spiel revealed like the steel beneath the cloth.
Soft in the night as the day shines brightly over the hill, traverse never to return again. Another arrogant assumption functions as a lesson to be learned from the tide as it changes and rises.
Now and forever, whether or not, the not ignored or holding me in a solidly classic class by gasping disbelief and so far from relief and countering the false and the true, understanding that I am mistaken.
What I was not turned into the looking glass broke beside the fork in the road that I rolled right off and into the sun that I've now become.
And I have to accept the way it all tends to flex. I'm a mess for the reason that the meaning's never what I'm feeding off what should not have come to surface, trying to fulfill the purpose.
So I propose the way you lay me, that by mistake or intended play is allowed to flow, for better or worse, as sometimes the blessings follow the curse. A charade, a sweater mother gave, a meal that was made for me to sit and fade. Look, I'm the dust of starlight's rust, blown through beyond. A word is not a bond, its actions are in insignificance. In actions I'm out to suffer their consequence, sequestered by desire of a love Eve's fire. Live cuts the wire and sip the straits dire. I'm a liar, but but not by choice. I mean, I'm honest, yes, another voice that echoes in the hall where linoleum lines, grid-like confines of a city of a mind.
Open and outstretched, I'm hoping to grab, or I'm hoping to catch, or I'm hoping to match what it is that I was, or what it was that I said. Was it me in the past, or was it all in my head? Am I afraid of the truth, or are the years to blame? Should I even attempt, or do I wish to retain memories that are me, holding from like a name? Think of the danger I risk to simply give it away. Well, I wanna hold on, but even that is a task, to risk nothing at all with the hope to surpass obstacles that I face, but only push to the side. I need to learn to release the pieces of me that died. I was looking at it from a different perspective. Still I managed to draw points from A to B. That being so roundabout, I started about 8 p.m. No plans, no opinion, intermittent, however diligent, a smoke in between, nothing to clock, I'm still here, nothing to note, keeping the hope before I elope, something unsettling like settling down.
So far it's been changing, four-fronted carouseling, two ceilings of halls and all those symphonies and rooms of beds, red flowers blooming, tunes still to be found in the autumn to come inside. And I stand in foyers, washed outside subways that circumvent innocence by chance of love's reticence. And I glance at passers by the wayside, it walks of boarded up dreams of steam, something used to be here, then here again. And I find a way to glide and then stride with the tune of the sounds from another room that never bends, don't break, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out which way that it lays, as it lays in the haze of malaise, in the way that she sways to the left and the right. And I walked into the night with her.
And she's nothing more than what I expect. Time I wrap around and maybe regrets until tomorrow when I circumvent.
To prove that you are mine.
Course cut the hair of the stalemate stare, in case you're forget another fantasy's forbidden in the fortress of desire as the fire goes ever so higher to lick the rafters of your loveless capture.
Enslaved by deceiving behavior, tearing out a bigger portion of the paper to conceal the real then to dispose, unable to disclose, but forever in the no note in the bottle that I throw.
Wash the shores as she drifts on by, gleam in the eye to an eve of no try.
Let it slide, vision open wide, her beauty lies on the outside.
Never to return again, the faithful hearts all pierced on the lance of your passing glance. By chance of deception, fate's own correction lessens the blows of your to and fro's.
Irrelevant sentiment sent out to an out-and-out of vulnerability, putting me up against an unorthodox flock of reasoning, expecting I indefinitely believing.
It's all forgot, 'tis a ring through teacups, never enough of this 1, 1, 2,
2, 3. Just her and me is all I can remember ever still. She lay imposing her will.
Not like this, all tied to strings, ring rung round the bend while your dream descends. Oh, heavy can wait while you're pulling the weight, child. No, nothing can happen until the brink of the break now.
My reply is short, and I've sorted out retorts when the errors to distort. Hit the gavel in the court, silence the outbreaks of dedicated lies. I wash my hands and turn my back to her eyes.
How lovely she was in those moments of bliss. I took sips of her.
And no matter how I resist, my mind remains a blur.
Restless, reckless lights on the nexus, trying to pick a winner in the falling of September, when one remembers the start of discontentment's growth. Locked in a moat around the sugar center throat, he floats in exhalation, just leaning in the fog to that gleam in the eye of another false start. And try again, my friend, as we wait in hues of forever and a day. It's now May, it seems, and my heart dwells in schemes, careens round the dreams, lies in the synapse. Some herald the cracks, but I just leave a soul pattern amongst the grid-like regimes. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. So how clean is yours? Cause mine's been on the floor, beach, dirt road, street, and in my house for a week. Just tinker with the sounds on a wing, lingering on that bench in between somewhere the self-esteem lies.
Wrestling restless in the middle of night while Anna sleeps. I'm beat, but still the voice inside continues its constant speech. Tomorrow will arrive too soon and seem to never end. I remind myself it'll all soon pass, but the voice says it depends. From there it quickly deepens into a deeper pool of thoughts. I drown for veritas, but once assured instantly rots. Forgotten memories reclaimed are haunting with regrets. In a fit to eradicate, I realize how I digress. Speaking of yesterday incorrectly is portrayed. Speaking of tomorrow as if it were true today.
Footsteps protracted, rhythm round the atlas. At last the hand claps clasp the air of everlasting evening. As I ease into age, losing points to page. Writer's riff sifts into my ignorance and buckles the spine. Crumbles words line by line, by now I'm fine. Cataloging asterisks of all these at-risk youthful indulgence. I told this lust to the tree which I barked at. Glided on these gilded streets, nothing's ever complete as we compete for wares. I climb on dull cares whilst fully unaware of when the temper's gonna flare. So I stare blank at full, something like a lull. It all comes down to the place I'm found, bound to your description, tied to what's written. Here comes the sun, as my work was now done. And
Hard to piece together, time broken and lost. Lost and unfamiliar, hidden by the moss. Crumbling our walls, open to the calls. Arms are taken stern, viciousness absurd. Many who are strangers, those I know I fear. Those I once held dear, keeps me up at night, fail without a fight. Sleepless dawning, stillness falling, reaching for something to grab. Sleepless dawning, stillness falling, shatter on frozen slabs. Sleepless dawning, stillness falling, settle for what I have. The sky falls and it's all to run for cover. I'm a lover, washing away the guilt I built by staying still.
in the slits spilt sideways as highways do find ways to betray those days of malaise and amazes milled about myself.
And myself is who I ponder, no thought of who is after. I'm running after fragile fragments scattered, left to gather.
Left, right. Left to the right of the night, can I find something to the course of divine instruments as the wind does wander?
Winding up or wound, binding up or bound, under the cover of shroud, although ominous under a cloud.
Clouded evening, simmering, something slowing, giving its way to the weight of the world, and launches a cannibal softly into a shroud of
dust. If I must and oxidize into rust that I crush two shards of dripping, bleeding, discarded parts for the parts.
As it starts once again on the bend of crescendos, lending hands to the task over a verdict and sort of conservative tis that were never done, wings that were never rung.
So bright, I was forced to look away. I looked away, but the light reflected off of the past with no escape. I tried, tested every angle I could, searched for the shadow to hide, knocked on every facet I met, to no reply. So alone, underneath the suffering sun, that understands worthiness felt, forbidden from comforts of the dark. I shut my eyes. So bright, lit similar to paper thin blinds. High noon and I wanna fall asleep, to reminisce of easier times where you and I, we ran, eagerly following a light that bent, dispersing into hues, an iridescent vision of youth. I believed, till now, where perception's either black or white, and I'm afraid to visualize the truth, unable to agree on what you found. I shut my eyes. So bright, I was forced to look away. I looked away, but the light reflected off of the past with no escape. I tried, tested every angle I could, searched for the shadow to hide, knocked on every facet I met, to no reply. So alone, underneath the suffering sun, that understands worthiness felt, forbidden from comforts of the dark. I shut my eyes.
Energy is fundamental to understand because it tells us where the universe is going. What's the fate of the universe? Is it going to expand forever and get cold and dark? Or is there, some end in sight?
To find myself in a state of darkness.
I seem to have disintegrated, I felt very non-existence.
To find myself in a state of darkness.
I seem to have disintegrated, I felt very close to non-existence.
To find myself in a state of darkness.
I seem to have disintegrated, I felt very close to non-existence.
Sky split, pulled off, pushed aside rails. Rails rally, cloud dust blown across the shells. There is nothing of the sort. Cohorts as they do. Mellifluous demulcent oozes, strata cut, hue cut. You from the path forked, cut along divides. War for God's sons, daughters, dart across the high tide. Tri-sided street cores named for wishful thoughts. Never cross lines with the will of the divining lots.
Taking a deep breath, holding it in this new expansion, focusing inward, meditate to calm and sanction an irrational retreat. I repeat with every inhalation, rearranging odd fragments of damaged goods to a new formation. And so I hide away, close my eyes for you wake in the darkness, gathering everything I know, lonely cause I feel as if I'm trying to escape what's real. And what I felt were mistakes fortified by guilt, multiplied by hate and terror, introvert and interlaced. Beginnings and the ends, acquaintance and friends, actions and mistakes, the straights and the bends. I surface too quick, the tight grip to the slip, the glass and the concrete, the seam then the rip. Aware of the travels, the bridges and the tunnels, the trees and the rivers, the streets and the gravel.
Such were the ways of our ever-fading days of our lives as we play out the never-ending charade. A barricade I made to block out the Dramamine. I mean to say I like to sway, but I'm cool off the place. So sit, wander, I do as an interlude is used to be support the puzzle, lighten up the mood.
Turning tables and knocking over chairs, searching for the hole in my chest, commanding stairs, walking in circles to make an escape. The exit slipping away, I'm simply spinning in place, taking note of all the faces around to stand solid and sound. The tide rises as I vanish in the crowd.
I got a hazy blue window that darkens in the eve. Another shelf that's dust I never even see. Seafoam green, just an ocean's walk away. A day in a cage where my inhibition goes astray. I say the same things repeatedly and don't listen. I walk up on the track executing indecisions.
To which I reply with an ambiguous lie, loosening the tightrope which is used to defy. I couldn't gather the lines for loose ends I tie. At times I find it simple with a knot in the side. Well, whatever it takes, I take it all in strides. I can stop and stretch, take a breath if I decide.
Between this, that, the other, I'm covered by the cloth. Her soft hand touches while my faculties out to luncheon. Ham on rye with mustard on the side. A carrot for health dangles right in front of my eye. And I've seen things that you can easily imagine. Lost dreams and broken cogs through the lens of the fog. Ways and such amount to not much, but more in such a way that the name turning the page. Ways and such amount to not much, but more in such a way than learning and turning the pages. Landscape pulled slowly across her face. Tilt the sun like there's someone to become on a 1, 2, 3 slowly turning key. In minor hues, a majority of which were blues, as we lay casting molds of old warmth, where we talked and coded nothings that consort to dissipate discreetly into curls of worn wood, exactly as they should.
And it all should have been forgotten, over and left to the past. Surely it's all would have been forgotten if that moment of the past when you re-entered the door, re-entered my life, once again becoming that knife, held closely to my throat. Holding me so tight around the neck, I'm short of breath. The better part of you alluding straight to powerless. The other half, my notice and remains mysterious. Swiftly letting go after the thought and fearing us. Pushing me away the way you've done before. As if you're seeking shelter when the water starts to pour. Following your steps like you're walking on the shore. Turning around the corner as you exit once more.
All the while she talked of foolish things. I spoke back, lying in between. The photo that I had in my mind was mine, and there alone would it glisten under its glass enclosure. Surely it was based on someone else, sure as the sun and the ocean are one. And it's too late for candle flames, flickering lust, but it's far too soon to blow the light out of the room. Nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the
around the
tides.
truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the tides.
around the truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the tides.
around the truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the
around the
tides.
truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the tides.
around the truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the
around
tides.
the truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the tides.
around the truth, proving nothing's ever used properly.
Scroll, nothing's ever forever.
So far so bad that I can't ever
Find it in the lies as we capsize the tides. One step two as I unglued the sleeve. One left me right for the world I can't achieve. But I believe in something simple, complex as it seems. I believe it fits together if you leave it up to dreams. And I do, but I don't, so I can't just wait. But I can't take another chance that's diminished at the gate. I set my path wide open, feel it closing in. I can set my glass down just to fill it up again. And it's time that I line up, the waves are rolling in. Waves that don't wait for your suffering to mend. You can't pretend that light bends and water doesn't drown. I pretend there's someone coming as I walk alone for now. I wait for a signal off on the horizon. I wander down the dust while the winter wind is winding its way through the all of it, every last facade. I stop and touch my own, feeling nothing in my bones. Its absence is telling its truth to the consequence of possible irrelevance of lives ill spent. I sent for my bags, a box of tattered rags. She asks if I'm alright, but there's not enough night. I fight the cold on her shoulder, hoping for the bliss. It tends to kilter off in a world that doesn't fit. There's a place for forgiveness, a home for the heart. I'm looking for that something that keeps us all apart.
death of compliments, one-sided and adamant, regardless of who she's met. A comet that intercepts, apathetic to atmosphere, unaware of what would be fear. To think is to interfere, a whisper crystal clear.
Cold souls grow fond, life etched, still palms drawn out, rinse, rust, fond souls grow cold. Try my time, must I love her? No other corner lover. As anchor sinks inside her hull, I always think of others. But when I try to close, she always seems reposed. I pose another eye and find it's really out of line. So I take in the back and waltz around the act. I on another path that rounds around the initial act, and cannot redeem to the stern, finding that on the second lessons learned hadn't had the time to fortify, so I try. Cold souls grow fond, life etched, still palms drawn out, rims, rust, fond souls grow cold as an everlasting light,
and warm like a shadowless part of the day
that fades into the break at the end of the night.
Like a voice in the middle with so little to say,
drips from the pour to a floor from a height
that's left in the center blended in the array,
that takes all the strength just to keep it bright.
in the wrong with the fabricated line on display.
Like I'm giving away the transcript today, henceforth partake to take a cue from the sun.
I've already begun jumping the gun now, fading with the yelling, trailing far in the past. I'm on the run,
Crystallize in the catacomb gaze, the malaise of our ways keep them on cold gray.
in the evening adjacent to the mason, chasing dreams underneath the moonlit paved way,
Cold as an everlasting light,
and warm like a shadowless part of the day
that fades into the break at the end of the night.
like a voice in the middle with so little to say,
Drips from the pour to a floor from a height
that's left in the center blended in the array,
that takes all the strength just to keep it bright.
in the wrong with the fabricated line on display.
Closing of the day, dawn dies on the cross, tilted to the side as the trestles sit and hide, ashamed of their rust, saddened by the dusk, wary of the past that has them anchored stuck. How did it begin? So full of hopes and dreams, circles to fulfill the promises of three kings. Ring round the day, bent straight through the glass. 10 summers later is reality of that, and a pall is cast over horizons once traversed. Unknown pleasures now confined to a verse, to a page, to a book, on a shelf, in a room, on a floor, in a building, in a city, in a tomb.
Already quite experienced, it all began with ignorance. I thought I knew it all until I measured out the distance, separating myself from the people I thought would be there for the remainder. Such a stranger to behaviors taking over that started with one and led into another, losing a mind. Yes, I dedicated the time, but nothing helped but severing ties. Realized the amount of lies that kept me stable, the fucking legs of a dining table, serving supper to a party of disabled. Like a lever, I lost my grip and fell into the shit. At the time, I swear to God, I thought that was it.
The remembrance fleets, dreary stars of rust, breathe like the day on a boat by the way. Her hair plays the light, a night like no other, a day in September and affairs to forget. I never not regret those slip through the cracks of her hardwood floor, of her ever so sure. Nothing's that pure in soirees end. The world keeps pushing after what you thought to mend. I lent a hand to thieves and borrowed from the followers and sold all my wares for about what they're worth, and to what, to wit, the aforementioned twists lead to the place that chamber that resides on a sphere, in a country, in a state, on a bay, in a house, in a room, in my bed where I lay.
The following years are now a blur, I wonder how I made it. I slept late and awoke the same, spending after hours faded. I picked up where I left off, going round at 10 dead ends. Depended on whatever friends I had left to mend. The deep cuts that deepened from the pacing back and forth. Now waist high at a path we find in prison to the course. Seeking no escape, song on replay, I laid within the casket and died. Like a candle flame drowning within itself. No fire, so no heat and no light. I worked at a dark and attempted to spark dead leaves and dry bark with a cold heart. The sun set, I closed my eyes and looked within myself to find no trace of misplaced time and wasted health.